Friend us on your socials and let's connect.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Hi, this is Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers, Tarzan, Sleepy Hollow, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Tune in to an interview with acclaimed radio personality Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5.
Casper Van Dien. Who else? I appreciate you guys. That was one of the best intros in a long while. I like how it got changed up, and I appreciate my team for doing things different. They always like to find ways to keep me on my toes because I am not about redundancy. Besides having to brush my teeth 3 to 5 times a day, which I enjoy doing, I'm all about dental health. As you guys know or may not know, I do have a background in dental radiology. I still have my dental radiology license and dental assisting. And what else? Dan Aykroyd, the heartfelt love of Dan, always sending out. I was doing good today. No allergy. There's no issues going on here. And for some reason, and I think it's energy, I really do. But I had a little bit of an espresso earlier, and I was fine. The moment, I'm telling you, I really believe this is something energetic going on here. It's something to where my throat chakras must be purging or cleansing or doing something for when I get ready for interviews. Because when I get a little hoarsier, what you may have noticed in that sound, I'm like, okay, yeah, my throat chakra must be clearing. So if you ever have trouble speaking, or if you're shouting and yelling, or you're in an argument and you feel like you're being choked, or you feel like you're being stifled, or your mucus is starting to bottle up, I'm telling you, from a medical and scientific aspect, our bodies will release certain hormones. It will start doing things when we are at a certain cellular level, a certain emotional space, and it'll start acting different, and you'll start noticing it. And it could be to where it's detoxing, purging, cleansing, releasing, all the above, because we get into these certain moments where we get so conditioned to do something over and over and over again and be a certain way until those little powerful impacts and hits happen, and you're like, ooh, I'm feeling this here I never felt before. This is happening here. Don't get scared. You don't need to run to a doctor. Breathe through it. Go through it. Relax. I like to drink a lot of water because I'm like, okay, am I detoxing? What's going on here? And just relax. But if you feel that you need to make a phone call or call somebody, don't hesitate to contact the doctor or whoever it is that you may see. But don't get too alarmed if something unexpected starts happening, because it could be your body just releasing and adjusting to the changes that are happening in your life. And there's a lot of changes happening in all of our lives. We're already in the third quarter. We're going to soon be in the fourth quarter. Christmas is going to be just around the corner. Halloween is this week. How exciting. I watched Terrifier 3, extremely apprehensive about it. I'm supposed to be interviewing Michael Levy. I was apprehensive about it because I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. I do not read details, plot summaries, or anything about films. When I'm interested in a certain genre, when a cover or something I'm captivated by interests me, or if I'm about to interview someone, I just dive right into it. So I know nothing about Terrifier 3, did not read anything about it, never watched a series. All I know is I heard great reviews and responses about Michael Levy, and I Googled him, looked him up, and I liked what I was finding out about him. I saw an interview recently Shock Fest Film Festival did an event. And I was like, oh, okay, here's something fresh and new. So we had, Matt Vasali Rosvally. He is the co-owner, manager of Shock Fest Film Festival. He's an actor, director. And I was like, oh, okay, this is even more interesting. And then I just got to a space last night. I thought, okay, let me watch it. I'm going to tell you, it brought back memories of Faces of Death and some of the crazy horror flicks from the 80s and 90s that were really gore shock value. And part of me wanted to turn away. Another part of me was like, should I keep watching this? Because it was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Silent Night, Deadly Night put into one, and something that I have not seen probably in decades. And it was a very, very interesting film. So if you're looking for Halloween, terrifying gore, I would say as of now, Terrifier 3 is the film to watch this week for Halloween. Other than that, if you're not into all of that flair, you can watch, what is it? Snoop, or maybe the Peanuts or something. And I'm not being facetious. I mean, there's a lot of good cartoon films, but if you want something a little bit more light, there's always some good Halloween fun out there. But it is nice to have the leaves, the fall. I'm going to tell you, people are outdoing themselves this year with decorations. 7 to 10 feet, if not taller, skeletons and ghosts and witches and pumpkins that somebody injected with steroids. I mean, I'm impressed. I lived on the West Coast for a while. I never really seen anyone get in the holiday spirit, especially in Vegas out there, probably because it doesn't feel like the holidays out there, in my opinion. But I'm back here full time in New Jersey, and they are not holding back to decorations. I mean, seriously, 7, and no, it can't be 7, is it? Maybe even 10 feet. I mean, these humongous things that I don't know how they got them, where they got them, but these ginormous size, scary little Halloween decorations is just insane. And they're really taking it seriously. And a good friend told me that each year here in the Northeast, people are decorating earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier. So now that Halloween is in effect, I'm wondering, is this going to go right into Thanksgiving and then into Christmas? Either way, I'm excited. We're going to get to one of my newest favorite people. I mentioned him earlier, Matt Rosvally. And he can throw a pumpkin at me if I'm chopping up his last name. I had the pleasure of finding out about him in Shockfest Film Festival. I was granted a beautiful access to a recent virtual event they had. Some incredible films are offering this year. It was great to go in and review them. It was really impressive to see what caliber of how independent films are going in today's day and age. The minimal, if not, really not a huge amount of budget, but still the production quality is very, very well done. And I highly respect anyone who has faith in themselves and their craft to be able to put something together that they're passionate about and really get it out there without worrying about judgment or reviews or anything else, and really showing us our work. It's been a long time since people have been putting more effort into independent filmmaking, since the pandemic. And I'm highly enjoying what we are witnessing right now. Matt, welcome to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco, Mr. Writer, actor, director. And it is Rosvally, isn't it?
It's Rosvally, yes.
Rose
How's it going,
Valley.
Stephen?
Then where's the E?
Immigration took it away.
Oh, those fuckers.
Like they take everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Come from Russian Jewish extraction from what is now Ukraine, Odessa and Kiev. And it used to be Rosenthal, but, got to change it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
So it was forced to be changed?
Oh, yeah, Ellis Island and all. They come to New York and they change it to Americanize it, and that's the story.
Oh, I like both are good, but I like the other one.
Rosenthal? Hell yeah, I like it better. It actually has a better ring to it, and I feel like it's more intuitive to spell because there's no E's in my name, but you'd think there should be.
And it has a level of sophistication to it that it doesn't sound like a family you would want to challenge.
Yep, 100%. The legend goes they were Russian royalty that were oppressed by the pogroms, so they had to leave and they lost all their wealth. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been told in my family.
I got to ask, what gives them permission to change people's names like that? And can you contest it? Can you go ahead if you ever wanted to get that name back again in its proper spelling or going back to the original?
Never looked into it. To me, my name as it is closer to home because it's what I've known all my life. It's what my parents gave me. So I have more of a connection to it, even though Rosenthal sounds a little more official.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like them both. And here's the thing. You are an actor, writer, and director. You can be whoever you want. And if you want to go ahead and adopt Rosenthal, include it in there.
I could, and I just might. I don't know. Right now I'm rocking Rosvally, so we'll see where that goes.
I just don't like to screw up people's names. I mean, I know what it's like. I don't take offense when, I don't expect people to know how to pronunciate mine, and it amazes me when someone does. Yeah. And it gives me those warm, fuzzy feelings like, oh, wow, someone nailed my name. And this is the first time they ever spoke it to me. So I get it. Bring us up to speed. We've had the perfect delight of getting to know one another, building this friendship. I can officially say you are a friend of mine. We've got the film festival, the Shockfest Film Festival. That is actually happening, and in my notes here, and please correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the official date November 15th, 16th? Or is it 14th, 15th?
14th and 15th, and we'll be in Las Vegas this year. So
Thursday and Friday, November 14th and 15th. Give us all the ooey gooiness we need to know about it.
Well, Shockfest AI Revolution is an immersive theater film festival. Every year we change our theme and we put people in an encounter that feels like they're in a movie. All the while, we like to talk about the business of film, and we like to showcase innovative movies because we think the entertainment industry, needs a shock to its system, hence the name Shockfest. So we'll be doing that. We're going to have a little bit of theater involved. We have a performance from Shy Smith, who is Method Man's daughter. She's coming all the way from New York just to perform. We're going to be hosted by Bill Oberst Jr., who is a genre actor. You've probably seen him in Abraham Lincoln's Zombie Hunter, and I believe he was also on Criminal Minds. And we'll be having the Mahal brothers, who raise millions of dollars to make productions, independent productions through Indiegogo. They're the kings of crowdfunding, so they'll be in attendance with us.
Where do you feel right now, Matt, when we think about independent film festing and how I feel it's getting traction again? Where do you feel the climate is at? Because there are people that really believe like some film festivals are on the verge of collapse and somewhat extinction. Others are moving towards virtual. People did the virtual during the pandemic, or at least attempted to do that. You were involved in that. Where should people, whether they're in film or wanting to get in a film, where can they keep their hopes positive, and where can they start, and where should they start plugging into?
Well, it's the Wild West right now. I lived in Burbank for about 10 years, starting in 2010, and I saw the industry as we know it evolve into something of a collapse. And I think people are struggling to find a way to showcase their movies in a meaningful manner because I think for a lot of reasons, people don't watch movies anymore. There are some pretty clever and valuable and innovative festivals. Of course, the tent poles like Cannes and Sundance and Tribeca and all that jazz are still relevant. But I did notice that there's an oversaturation of festivals, and a lot of them are not meeting the needs of the independent filmmakers. So you really got to look at what is the feedback from other filmmakers for the festival that you're interested in entering? What are the things they're offering you? And also, I think what's even more important is what are you hoping to get out of a festival run when entering festivals? Because there's a lot of other ways you can get your movie out there than just entering a film festival. Although film festivals, as I'm sure you know, do have their place and their value, but I think that research is key and important. And of course, on top of that, I think it's really important to connect with the festival team because I read into if people want to talk to you. A lot of times, if they don't want to talk to you, that tells you something about your value. You know what I mean?
Where are you taking Shockfest? You've been doing this for 17 years. Memory serves me correctly, 17 years. Where do you see the climate of film festival, AI? There's still a lot of not so loving tone and conversations about AI. Certain celebrities, even politicians, are now openly coming out in the public, in media, feeling that it is a system that is a disgrace and a threat. What are your thoughts?
AI is so new, and first of all, it's very innovative and it's not going away. There's a lot of money, and I'm talking billions of dollars put into this technology, and everybody and their mother are trying to get a hold of it to incorporate it into their businesses from all industries. There is a fear in the film industry that it is going to cheapen the content and replace jobs. And in many ways, people aren't wrong about that. However, because the technology is not going away, I think it's more important for people to educate themselves on what exactly it is. Because Hollywood over the decades has kind of mystified AI as essentially a fantasy character that has autonomy, which, is debatable and part of the conversation, but could potentially take over like Terminator, I think it's important to understand what it is. It's essentially a giant math and organization problem or solution. And the people who run and build AI have all told me, at least the people I've connected with, that it's actually very boring behind the scenes to work on because it's very technical. And I think it's important to know how it works so you can utilize it to your advantage as a creator. I feel it's ultimately going to become a tool in the toolbox for everybody branching throughout all industries, especially art. I just think right now it's weirdly not regulated the way it will be. I think there's a lot of speculation and fear, and I think what's important is to alleviate that with conversation, which is why we're theming our festival on AI and opening up the conversation about what people are afraid of and discussing methods of utilizing AI to your advantage. Because as a filmmaker, you need to be looking at your work as an independent business. And when you kind of put that lens on your work, it allows you to look at the benefits of utilizing technology to streamline your work, especially when you're in a business that's kind of intangible. Film is not a tangible product like, retail. We're not selling medicine. We're not selling housing. We're not selling pottery. It's a creative art and it's a subjective art. So you're sort of selling a bit of magic with movies, and it's very difficult for most artists to really tap into that audience that wants to buy this stuff. And most people really struggle with it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how AI changes people's approach in not only producing content, but getting it out there.
What are the benefits, considering you are an experienced actor, writer? How are you incorporating your skills, not only within Shockfest, But where are you getting more collaborations? How are you collaborating? That's where it's at. It's something social media is pushing more of. I'm going to blow the whistle on. Sorry about that. We had to reset for a moment. I'm going to blow the whistle on the fact that, all right. So when we look at collaborations, let's go to Facebook and Instagram. The main thing, and there are a couple things, is that they are losing millions and millions and millions of dollars because people are finding new ways to not having to spend money, whether casually, frivolously, or even at all, on nonsensical marketing and advertising when proof is it is not giving a return on investment. People are getting likes, they're getting shares, they're getting comments, maybe they're getting some followers, but it is not designed for people like us or really anyone at all. Not if you're looking to get, if you're say Madonna or you're Jennifer Lopez and you're coming out with something new. Yeah, go ahead, and they got the money to waste on those Instagram advertising. But what I have found from an insider, and which I truly believe, is that these whole new collaborations now and everything is that Instagram and social media, Facebook, is they're trying to figure out where are people bypassing the system to not advertise. So let's say if you and I were to do a collaboration, the system is going to analyze whether or not that should have been a paid sponsorship, or if they need to hide our content to force us. Let's say if you came out with a new film, I'm the publicist working to help you with it, and we're doing a collaboration, and we did a collaboration with Power 98.5, Shockfest, and you. The system's going to analyze, okay, is this a business? Is this private? Who are these people? What is the collaboration getting tied into? Is there branding part of this? That's why at times Instagram, Facebook, and even Twitter will recommend, it'll ask or prompt you, is this branded content? All of this is a test to figure out where should this have been paid? Where should you have taken advertising? So where I'm going with this, and not to get too off track, but this is a whole scheme social media is doing, and people are not realizing this. To go back to collaborations and doing things where we're partnering up, how are you, Shockfest, your social media, what are you guys doing to effectively not only to be able to help everyone as a community, but to be able to help yourself independently to get that exposure, to help your projects to be able to get recognition, support? I get calls often. I just had a phone call today. Another producer, director is looking for funding for a project. I just got off a phone conversation yesterday, Matt, with someone. Same thing. People are looking for money. People are also looking for exposure. When they go out, especially utilizing social media to get that exposure, it is getting hidden, or what they're now saying, it's getting shadow banned, because these tech companies want people to take out advertising. They want to go ahead and hide things to push you to advertise, or they will push it out, give you the idea that you're getting now mass exposure, and then they'll pull it back to restrain you in hopes that you will take out, some sort of advertising or paid sponsorship. Did that make it clear? Basically, I'm asking, how are you operating your systems, your business as a director, an actor, a film festival liaison for yourself and for everyone else, utilizing social media, collaborations, and even partnerships?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, which is the story of humanity, right? That it's about resources and money. Ultimately, every important decision that's made is a decision made to try to maximize profits, and that includes the exposure that you are getting on something like a social media platform. I mean, if I learned anything in Hollywood, it's how do we turn the people who are passionate about making art, who will do anything they have to do to get that opportunity, into customers? And you see that, I feel like, with paid subscriptions to art and editing tools and marketing tools, social media advertisement, pretty much everywhere you look. It's people are charging artists for the rights to create their work. So that is a good question. How do you get out there? What I do personally is I take the effort to communicate with one person at a time, and I multiply that by 100 every day. You know, I personally make I've made hundreds of calls a day just to kind of connect with people, whether it be investors, audience members, ticket holders, sponsors, you name it. Um, the best advice I ever got was from Henry Winkler when I was a kid, because he was the on the board of ed at my acting school in New York City. And I had the opportunity to get to talk to him. And he told me, if I want to break it into this business, the only way to do it is to be tenacious. You have to put that word on a piece of paper and tape it on your mirror and look at it every day. He used the words, you got to be like one of those punching clowns who gets punched down and just keeps getting up. So that level of tenacity is really what you need, no matter what it is, whether you're pursuing acting in the 80s or the 70s like Henry Winkler was, or trying to get the word out today for your work. I've heard great advice from some of our guest speakers at Shockfest about just being amiable, personable, and getting on other people's stages. If you're here, if you're like, for example, I'm on your show right now. I would love to be able to translate your audience into my audience and vice versa. I'd like to share that with you. And on top of that, anybody else that I connect with, I want to make sure I get to talk on their stages and I provide them with some kind of tangible value that they want me to come back. I think all those things are important to look at. And I'll throw out a little bit of advice from one of our filmmakers and guest speakers, Stephen Byro, who wrote a great book on finding investors, specifically as it pertains to movies. He has a breakdown of the 5 personality types of the people that fund movies. And it's not the people with the word investor on their business card. This book is great, by the way. It's $20 on Amazon. Go check it out. I'm not sponsored by him. I just really love it, and I love pushing people in his direction because he gives very powerful advice that transcends any particular time or industry. But he talks about his basic concept is that when you're sitting with a potential investor or somebody who's going to be giving you money, everybody at that table, yourself and that person and any of their colleagues, knows what they're here to talk about. So you have to be aware that this is a conversation about money. Don't be afraid to talk about it. But what's more important is knowing what they value. Why are they at the table with you? What do you bring to them? And I think that's something that I really try to talk to a lot of folks about, because I think a lot of artists forget the value of what they're bringing to the table. I think artists are looking at their vision, what they feel is good art, when they should be looking at what do people want to see. And that includes speaking to potential investors. What do they want in exchange for giving you money? You have to tap into that very fast.
What's that book again?
How to Find Investors.
I like that. I'm going to Google that now. Let me see.
Stephen Byro. Check him out. That guy he's doing great.
I'm going to Google it. Stephen B-Y.
B-I-R-O.
B-I-R-O.
I'm sure he appreciates the shout out.
If not, we should let him know.
Sure.
I guess he's got an Instagram, Steve Byro.
That's him.
I got to take a look at it. He's not a photographer, is he?
He's a filmmaker. He's a producer, director, writer.
I appreciate that advice. And that was some of the golden gems that you shared on the Shockfest event that I attended. You had the one gentleman that was sharing that he's got hundreds of investors in a project.
Yes, that's the Mahal brothers of the Mahal Empire Productions. They've made a ton of films. They get celebrities. They get distribution. They're on Paramount Plus. They've done countless red boxes across the country, Walmart, obviously Amazon, of course. They've worked with Lionsgate. And for every film they produce, they get distribution. And that's part of the things that they have that's of value to the potential backers. They also provide roles for some of their backers. So you can actually invest in a Mahal Empire Productions film and star in a movie. And that's part of the experience that they offer, and that's part of why they're so successful. They make tons of movies in Vegas, but they also film all over the place, not only in America, but all over the world. I was just on their set of their new movie, Alien Horde, and it looks fantastic. It's directed by Brandon Slagle. They are very generous with their knowledge on fundraising and Indiegogo. They started with Troma Entertainment, the creators of The Toxic Avenger, who, by the way, just picked up my feature film, which is coming out next year, The Miranda Murders. But yeah, no, they're killing it. They're the kings of crowdfunding, and definitely check them out. The Mahal brothers, Sonny and Michael Mahal.
You're just giving me loads of gooey stuff to be Googling today. Give me that
That's
again.
What I'm here for, man.
What is their name again?
The Mahal brothers. Sonny and Michael Mahal, and the production company's Mahal Empire Productions.
Mahal Empire. Probably because it's the journalist in me and the publicist. I like to know everything. Mahal Empire Productions?
Yep, and they actually they submitted their film Arena Wars to Shockfest this year, so that's actually part of our official selections for 2024. That film got on Paramount Plus.
They're in Vegas.
They are in Vegas.
This is awesome. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, yes. You told me about that. Arena Wars. Yep, got it.
Yeah, Michael Madsen's in it. He plays one of the stars in the film.
Oh, wow. Nice. And I lived in Vegas for almost 8 years, and I had no idea they were there.
Oh, yeah. We premiered one of their films, Art of the Dead, which won a bunch of awards at Shockfest 2019. They made Party Bus to Hell, which did really well on Redbox. They've done a ton of films. Actually, Alien Storm's coming out. They did a pirate movie not too long ago. Bridge of the Doomed, which is a zombie film. They do a lot of genre stuff, but they get out there and they get straight up distribution, like the kind of distribution all filmmakers want. I mentioned Paramount Plus and Lionsgate, so they're the real deal.
Did they share how they got Paramount Plus?
Through what they do. I mean, the short answer is yes. The long answer is there was more than one moving part that got Paramount Plus. It's part the longevity. They've been doing this for I would say maybe 10, 20 years.
Wow.
They consistently get distribution. They've been built. Their productions rise in budget every time they make a new film. And I think just that momentum got them in the room, you know?
I like this. I like this a lot. As you're sharing, I'm going through. I always said, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it on record now, live here on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio and Biz Talk Radio, Mr. Matt Rosvally. Rosvally, right?
Rosvally, yeah.
Rosvally. Even though he has another elegant name attached to him, writer, director, actor. This is, you're like the encyclopedia of film and film festivals and like I remember watching you played it twice on that live, and now that I'm able to put these visuals with it, I'm like, holy crow. All right, now it all comes together. And I do appreciate the energy of Sonny and Michael, and I think it's Michael. Doesn't Michael he's the one with the goatee?
Yes, that's Michael.
Great energy, full of life, no hidden agenda, came across very authentic in that video. And I'm glad you actually played it twice. So what's next for Shockfest? Are we going to be seeing another live immersive experience? What's happening on the 14th and 15th of November?
That's correct. Shockfest AI Revolution is going to be in Las Vegas, November 14th and 15th. We will be doing a film festival with a few traditional screenings. We're also going to be doing some workshops and immersive theater. The AI, artificial intelligence, Lily 3, will be taking over the show, and we'll be premiering her. She is portrayed by Cheyenne Smith, who's the daughter of Method Man coming from New York City. There'll be a little bit of musical theater involved. And we'll also have Bill Oberst, who I mentioned earlier. He's from Criminal Minds. He's done a lot of television, a lot of horror films, and he was also Abraham Lincoln's zombie hunter. So he'll be there hosting the show.
But aren't you going to have to be able to be there in person to really get the full effect of everything? Because you're not televising all of this, right?
That's right. It's an in-person event. It's actually in partnership with the Clark County Library in Las Vegas. They're providing us with this beautiful 500-seat theater, which we've been there before. It's fantastic. But come on over to Vegas. We'd love to have you. And if you can make it, it's going to be a party.
I am impressed. And of course, just moved back to New Jersey full time. I left Vegas in April. And you guys have to be putting this on now while I'm not there. How?
Of course.
How? I'm going to tell you, if I had a pumpkin pie right now, I'd be throwing at someone. It is Halloween.
Pumpkin pie, throw a cream pie. Those are not as valuable.
It's like, of all the times, of all the years, you're throwing off one of the biggest extravaganzas of film festival in Las Vegas, and I was right there 8 months ago.
Well, I guess you have to come back. You got a reason to come back to Vegas,
I
man.
know. And I already told you, though, I have to fly first class. I cannot be doing over a 5-hour flight with the risk of kids in coach and God only knows whatever else. And have you ever flown cross country? I know you have, but have you ever done it in coach?
Oh, yeah, many times.
All right. Really? Do you really think, especially the fact that, all right, I don't mind, I'm an early bird, but have to go Newark Airport, deal with all that, and then fly all the way over 2,000 miles away?
Well, Newark's better than JFK. I'll throw that out there.
That's true. And I'm not saying you guys aren't worth it. But yeah, there's a level of comfort that I require because, travel this day and age, I mean, it's not as, I think there's ways to find it fun, but I'm going to tell you, whether it's the over-processed food or because Starbucks is charging too much money now and people can't find ways to get cheaper drinks through them, whatever it is, there's an insanity out there that I'm going to honestly say has not affected me, which I'm grateful to be having agoraphobia where I don't want to go anywhere. But you really do have to get prepared for war, especially going anywhere. Walmart. I stay out of Walmart, by the way, but if someone shops at Walmart or grocery store, or even the airport, because there's Looney Tune craziness all over.
100%. Transparently, I'm a guy who just likes to jump in my car and drive 20 hours if I got to go somewhere. So I'd rather do that than get on a plane, even if it's quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big fan of being a sardine. I'd rather be in my own space. But, I also have a very high tolerance for pain, so I'll tolerate it.
And to set the record straight, you just did that. You did that. What did you say, 20-hour turnaround?
Oh, I just did a 24-hour turnaround. I went to L.A. and back from Las Vegas because we were rehearsing some musical theater. My boss, who created Shockfest, built this amazing musical, and we've been workshopping it for about a decade, and it keeps growing, and we're going to be incorporating facets of it into our festival this year. But I came to LA just so we can spend a little time practicing the music, and it's something I'm really passionate about.
Matt Rosvally, I hope we covered everything. Is there anything we missed? Where should we close out? How do you want to let our listeners here on Power 98.5 and Biz Talk Radio? What do they need to know?
Oh, gosh. Well, the feature film that I wrote and directed with Gil Claveria, The Miranda Murders, is going to be is picked up by Troma Entertainment. It'll be coming out next year. Shockfest is taking place in Las Vegas, November 14th and 15th. Find us at social media, Instagram, Facebook, at Shockfest Innovations. We'll be posting a lot of information about how to attend. We'd love to have you come. Actually, I just directed a short film with Malcolm McDowell and Juliet Landau called Theater of Mystery. It's an animated film, and we'll be releasing that next year alongside The Miranda Murders, which is our feature. And that's probably the biggest stuff I can throw out right now.
Well, we've got to have you back on again.
I'd love that. This is fun.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio and Biz Talk Radio. Matt, it's a great honor. I want to thank you for all of this, and I want to thank you for your time and your generosity in opening your home at Shockfest Film Festival to myself and to everyone who's going to be showing up on November 14th and 15th. Congratulations on the theater. It sounds stunning. I don't believe I've ever attended or been inside that theater. Either way, if I'm not able to make it this year, I'm always available virtually if you need me at all. And then when's the next one? Or do we have to wait a year from now for the next one?
The main Shockfest events take place in the last quarter of the year, but we will be doing more networking events, and we do hold them in different cities. We are planning on doing a few in Las Vegas, aiming to do them monthly, but we'll see. And we just held a bunch of events in New York City. It's a shame you came in April because we were in New York last December and March. Would have loved you there.
See that? I wasn't here, but I was in Vegas. And now that I left Vegas and I'm here back in the New York area, you guys decided to do Vegas. So here's this, the power of three, right? Everything happens in threes. So the third is where we're going to have the big boom.
We'll make it happen.
I know
we'll get together. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you once again to everyone who's tuned in to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio and Biz Talk Radio. All great things. Download the Power 98.5 Satellite Radio app. Tune in on Alexa. Power 98.5 is available on Apple Music and streams live on Streamitter, Live FM Radio, Streama, and many, many more. But we want you here home first, power985.com. Also, click that messenger in the bottom right-hand corner and send us your love, your questions, anything else. Biz Talk Radio, to the fans and loyal listeners, Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco airs weekdays 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 5 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, and Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern. All great things that are happening on Biz Talk Radio. You can head on over to biztalkradio.com or biztv.com. If you happen to come in later into this interview, or you're so excited that you want to continue to support Matt, Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco, and Shockfest Film Festival, this episode will be available on any one of your favorite podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Music. As always, remember, this is a radio show, not a podcast. However, we enjoy bringing you the best always and having Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco available on those podcast platforms, so you can have that custom link, add it to your media kit, share it with your friends and family, and listen to it however often and many times you want, and more. Take care, everyone. Have a great holiday season. Bring in all that wonderful pumpkin cheer. Halloween is just a couple days away. And if you're not excited for some exciting, scary Halloween movies, then watch a good love story. And as always, I enjoy watching my Charlie Brown Halloween cartoons. They still are a favorite, and I enjoy that feeling of remembering myself as a kid, because I was pretty awesome. And I hope people still believe I am. Take care, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Always find a reason to smile. And remember, you matter most when you believe it. Take care.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.